We're back with another Couch Potato General Manager video. Football picks against the spread, week 12. Drew, we're going to jump right into the Sunday games because, of course, we'll be stuffing our faces on Thanksgiving. This won't come out until after Thanksgiving. So never mind that 3-game slate. Let's move directly to the Sunday games. And we're going to start with Titans at the New England Patriots. And the Patriots are favored at -7. The Titans coming off a bad loss to Houston. What do you think?
Excuse me. The Titans' losses are to bad football teams. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, Jets, and Texans. Come on,
the Texans, bro. Yeah. When you got middle of that the Texans-Titan game, you're just like, yeah, they probably gonna lose. It's just one of those days, bro. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I've said this for a couple of weeks now. Tannehill hasn't played well, bro. Just in general, he's had maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 good games. The rest have been, it's pretty much been Derrick Henry and that defense have played well. And so I don't know that changes here with New England kind of catching themselves and figuring things out. And Belichick got things rolling. They got things going, so +7, it's a lot. But New England is at home. I'm comfortable. Excuse me, +7, -7. I'm going to take New England -7. I don't believe in Tannehill. There is no Derrick Henry. AJ Brown there. Is Julio healthy? Is he ever going to get healthy? I know they just signed Golden Tate. Don't know if that's going to, bear any fruit or if he's even going to play this week. I doubt it. They let go of Adrian Peterson. There's just a lot of things going on. It is in flux with Tennessee. So with that said, I'm going to take the Patriots -7.
When I initially saw this line, I was thinking to myself, obviously you made the perfect point in terms of Tennessee, having some bad losses, losing to poor football teams, whether it be a lack of concentration or, just taking your opponent for granted, whatever the case may be. But of course, They've smacked the quality teams, right? Of course, no Derrick Henry in the lineup. Again, initially when I saw this line, I was like, you know what? Tennessee's going to bounce back. They're going to be able to cover. And then I thought about it a little bit more, and I was like, New England's going to shorten the game. That defense is humming. No, A.J. Brown may not be in the lineup, particularly without A.J. Brown in the lineup or A.J. Brown ailing. I'm leaning towards the Patriots as well. I'm going to join you with the -7 with New England. I think they win by a couple of scores here. Let's move right along to the New York Jets at the Houston Texans. Obviously, we just mentioned those teams in relation to the Tennessee Titans. Who do you like here in a battle of bad football teams? The Texans, of course, obviously coming off that win against the Titans.
Right. They're at home here, -2.5. And the Jets, the Jets do the Jets. I like that it's -2.5 and not 3. So I'm gonna take the Texans here. I don't care for this game, but I'm gonna take the Texans -2.5. I think them coming off that winning versus the Titans. Maybe Tyrod has found himself. Maybe he's rekindled that Tyrod from the first 2 games of the season before he got injured. Maybe he just needed to get revved up. And the Jets just haven't shown me anything outside of Elijah Moore, who blew up last week. But it didn't produce a W for those guys. So I'm gonna stick with the Houston Texans. They have a plan, although they're not that talented.
Right.
They have a plan and they stick to it every week. Whether it works out or not, it's talent.
Yeah. That's their formula. And they're doing a good job sticking to it. Like you mentioned, they have a dearth of talent, so sometimes it just doesn't work out. You understand what I'm saying? Particularly when they didn't have Tyrod in the lineup. He seems to be over his injury, as you mentioned. I'm gonna join you on this one as well. I'm gonna go with the Texans as well. I think with the Jets, with no Michael Carter in the lineup, I'm not sure what to expect from that backfield. It's very encouraging to see kind of the dual slot approach with Elijah Moore and Jamison Crowder. Those guys should be heavily involved in the game plan, but I don't trust the quarterback play. I don't necessarily trust the Jets offensive line. I think they take a step back in terms of their running game without Michael Carter. There's just too many question marks there. And the Texans, they've played well against quality opponents, or at least what we perceive to be quality opponents at times. So yeah, I'm going to take the Texans as well at home. Moving right along, we have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the New York Giants for an NFC East matchup. The Giants are actually underdogs at home at +3.5. Who do you like?
Yeah, they got things going on over there, man. We saw Jason Garrett out there drawing up the plays to the pick and roll from the 3-point line.
The 2 down screen.
It's ridiculous. ridiculous, man. Like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know, Jason Garrett, I just think at this point in his career, I think the calling plays piece of it is probably done. In terms of being maybe a quarterback's coach, something like that, I think that's where he needs to just kind of lay there. I don't think it needs to go any further than that. You have, I think it's Freddie Kitchens is going to be the one calling the plays for the Giants this week. I think they'll get a little bit of a boost. And my
you
only
think so with Kitchens?
A little bit of a boost. It's bro. Anything is better than Jason Garrett, bro.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? The vanilla. I mean, everybody says the same thing about him. Yet we hire him and have him run our offense, bro. Like, what do you think is going to happen? It's not, nothing's. It doesn't change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So. And the Eagles, the one thing I do have a concern about the Eagles, are we getting good Jalen Hurts? We getting suspect Jalen Hurts? Like, who are we getting? That's a question mark. And then, I'm not extremely high on the Eagles defense, to be honest with you. I think this game is going to be closer than most people think. So because of that, and they did make an offensive coordinator change, I'm going to take the Giants plus 3.5, but I think the Eagles win the game.
Yeah, I initially was going to go that direction. I actually think that's the safe bet. I think the safe bet is to take the plus 3.5 with the Giants. Yeah, I thought the Giants would give the Bucs a much better contest, and I just didn't see it happen. Of course, some of that aftermath obviously includes Jason Garrett being dismissed as offensive coordinator, but I have just as much, or rather just as little, faith in Freddie Kitchens in terms of being a play caller. So I like what Philadelphia has done over the last couple of weeks. They seem to found a running game. They're getting Devontae Smith more involved in the passing game. Jalen Hurts, yes, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for him this year as a young quarterback, a young signal caller, and then of course have an inexperienced coaching staff, hasn't necessarily put all their players in the best position to be successful. But I see them heading in the right direction. Maybe not necessarily completely turning a corner, but certainly heading in the appropriate direction with this young nucleus. So I'm going to go with Philadelphia. All right, Drew, before we get into the next matchup, I want to let our listeners know that we have an affiliate link with betus.com. Check out that link in the description. Sign up, get a discounted rate, get a bonus towards your initial deposit. Again, that's betus.com. Make sure you use the link in the description to get that bonus. Drew, next up, we have your Tampa Bay Bucks at the Indianapolis Colts. And this is actually a pretty intriguing game, although I know where you're going with it. The Bucks are favored on the road, -3. They did a good job against New York Giants, took care of business. Even though I know you were somewhat concerned about the matchup. Yeah. You know what I mean? They handle business. And what do you expect them to do against the Colts on the road?
Yeah, I think this is a bad matchup for the Colts. If the Colts are going to win, and we've said it since the very beginning before the season even started in terms of the Colts, is if they're going to win, it's not going to go through Carson Wentz. It has to go through Jonathan Taylor. They proved that last week, 5 touchdowns, ran roughshot over the Buffalo Bills, who's supposed to be, Super Bowl contender. Not sure what's going on over there. No, we do know what's going on over there. But I just think the way that the Colts have to win is in favor of the Bucks. You have to run the football, right? Sure. And if they decide they're going to go with that. The Bucks been the best rush defense for the past 3 years, something like that. So, you're playing right into the hands of the Bucks. And to be honest with you, when you run the ball against them, it's just a wasted down. It looks like the Bucks have figured out in terms of the offensive teams are going to play that 2 safety shell. The Bucks are just going to throw it underneath, and just take their shots when they can. They did that against the Giants. Got them out of the two safety shell because they ran so many different, combination of screen passes and a couple of different types of runs. It wasn't just the basic old run game from the Bucks. And so I think it's just a bad matchup for the Colts, man. Disclaimer out there, I'm a Bucks fan, obviously, but I like to look at, who matches up well against who, and I just don't think this is a good matchup for the Colts.
Yeah, I agree with you on paper. You know what I mean? Obviously, the strength of the Colts offense is the rushing attack led by Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line. The Bucks, obviously, over the last several seasons have been very stingy against the run, among the best, if not the best, against the run in the NFL. Let me take it back a few weeks. I was somewhat surprised with how well Khalil Herbert of the Bears ran against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I mean? That I didn't see that one coming. In terms of that particular contest, do you see any parallels in terms of what the Colts can do on the ground? I mean, obviously, this is the best rushing attack in the NFL. It's strength on strength. Strength on strength. Jonathan Taylor's a special player, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? The Colts are playing with a lot of confidence right now. They're at home. But what do you think the Colts could manage to have maybe not, you know, a world beater of a day on the ground, but be serviceable enough on the ground in order to keep Carson Wentz in check, right? To stay ahead of the chains and make sure that Carson Wentz doesn't necessarily have to go out there and win the game. What do you think about that?
It's possible, and word is, you know, Devin White may not play, so that's a huge hit. Although if I had to pick Devin White or Levante David, I'm taking Levante David all day long, no questions asked. But he may not play. I think he said he got hurt on one of the last plays of the game on Monday. You know, enter Kevin Minter. He's not quite the athlete that Devin White is. So that's a hit nonetheless. You know, could they do kind of what the Bears? Yeah, I can see it. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is a talent. You know, he's incredible out the backfield in terms of throwing the ball out the backfield, making people miss. He's most of the time when he catches it out the backfield, it is a first down. So that's huge. And we've struggled kind of making those tackles at times with you know, catching short passes, especially to running backs out the backfield the past couple of weeks. I think this past week they did actually a pretty good job. But I can see it happening. But then, you know, then it falls into, like you said, it eventually will fall into Carson Wentz's hands. You know, what will happen then? You know what I mean? And, you know, we've talked about it before. He doesn't know his limitations, right? And what happens when you don't know those limitations? You either get hurt or you make bad plays, right? So, you know, it's possible.
It's within the realm of possibilities. Yeah. You know, that has to be the formula, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I know some might think, you know, you may have to go against the grain here, do something counterintuitive in order to get this win. I'm a firm believer that it starts and ends with those guys up front and Jonathan Taylor hitting his head on the goalpost. You know what I mean? And if the Bucs can slow that down, I'm taking Brady 10 out of 10 times against Carson Wentz. So I'm gonna go with the Bucs as well. Though I think the Colts can get some movement up front. I don't think they're gonna completely shut down this running game. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Falcons are favored on the road. Last time we saw the Falcons, they looked awful. Terrible. Cannot protect the quarterback. Quarterback not necessarily letting the ball go when he needs to. They are scrambling for a running game without Cordell Patterson. If Patterson's back, I definitely would go with the Falcons here, though. I think Jacksonville has their share of concerns and issues as well. If Patterson's not in that lineup, I don't know that the Falcons can generate enough offense. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to get from the Jacksonville Jaguars in terms of their offense.
Right.
You know, so this is kind of a toss-up here. You know, obviously that's why the point spread is so close, with it being you know, -2 for the Falcons. And we say this every time about the Falcons, and say it again, man. They play to the level of competition, so you have no idea what the hell is going to happen, right? I mean, last week I think was an anomaly.
Okay.
And like you said, just a couple things they couldn't do, and that was pretty much it. It was a wrap, right? So they'll probably play to the level of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I would, if Cordell Patterson is playing, I'm taking the Falcons -2, no question. If he's not playing, I'll take Jacksonville +2.
I don't think Jacksonville has anyone who can eliminate Kyle Pitts the way Kyle Duggar did a week ago. I thought Kyle Duggar had an incredible game. Senior Bowl alum, a favorite of ours at Couch Potato General Manager. I don't think they match up the same way. I don't think they have the defensive prowess, obviously, that New England has, coached by Belichick. So, yeah, I think the Falcons get back on track here, assuming Cordell Patterson's in the lineup. And yeah, I won't go as far as to say, you know, I'll go with the Falcons without him. They need him. They absolutely need him. As talented as Kyle Pitts is in that passing game, we saw a pulse from Russell Gage this past week. There's just too many other issues with respect to the Falcons' offense in terms of their ability to sustain drives and get chunk plays, explosive plays. They got to have that athleticism that Patterson brings to the table in order to do so. In the event he's playing, definitely take the Falcons at -2. If not, I got to roll with the Jaguars. You know, I don't feel great about it, but I'll roll with the Jaguars under those circumstances. The next game we have on the slate is the Carolina Panthers visiting the Miami Dolphins. and the Panthers are favored on the road, not unlike the Falcons in the last matchup and the Buccaneers in the matchup before that, at -2. Do you like the Panthers here, Drew?
Yeah, I like the Panthers, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very comfortable with going with the Panthers here because of
very comfortable
with the way the Dolphins play defense. They want to man up, turn their back, run and chase their guys. What happens when you do that? Cam's just gonna take off, and it's just gonna be lights, camera, action, Superman time. How he do his thing.
Yeah.
And so, and I know the Dolphins had success last week, albeit the Jets. And I want to see more. I need to see more, right? I think some Dolphins fans feels like, hey, maybe we're turning a corner here.
They smacked Baltimore the week before.
No, and that's cool. That's cool. Thursday night,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
We only doing walkthroughs. You know what I'm saying? So
gotcha.
It is what it is. And they got the win.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do. Went out there and beat a team that's supposed to be in terms of the Jets. Maybe they're turning a corner. I just need to see more, man. If they beat the Panthers, all right, man, we might need to look at the Dolphins a different way. But I just the way they play defense, and Carolina's defense, I mean, they've been pretty good all season, right? Barring the injuries that they have. So I'm gonna roll with the Panthers. And I think they win by like 6, bro.
Do you think Flores will kind of lean upon his New England Patriots upbringing and kind of tailor their approach to face this opponent? You know what I'm saying? Perhaps a little bit more zone against Cam, force him to make, contested tight window throws. In terms of squeezing down on that zone. Now, obviously, when we talk about contested throws, you think, if you want to create tight windows and you need to play man. I think man, you can just kind of line up. You can pick your matchup and go with it, right? I like Christian McCaffrey against most linebackers out of the backfield. You know what I mean? So, do you think they kind of switch up the style a little bit in this one?
No, I think Flores is one of those coaches, and he'll have to learn. Hopefully, he won't get fired before he learns this, but he's one of those, we're going to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that he's changed at all since he's arrived and gotten the players that he's gotten and made any adjustments in terms of, okay, this ain't working, we need to adjust. I don't know that I've seen that. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody hit me down in the comment section. But it's been, as far as I know, it's been, we're going to do what we do, which is man up and, run it.
Yeah. We were critical of Tua a few weeks back. We were critical of him, saying that, there seems to be something missing there. He has played better in recent weeks. I still have a lot of question marks regarding, that offensive line, that running game, the complementary aspect of it. Jalen Waddle obviously is starting to make his presence feel more and more. Tua seems to be settling in. It's too soon to write the book on him one way or the other, but Tua does seem to be settling in. That being said, I'm gonna lean with the Panthers here. I think Cam gets it done. I do think Cam gets it done. I think Christian McCaffrey, again, if you're going to say that they're going to run this heavy man look, as in the Dolphins, against the Panthers, I think there are going to be opportunities for McCaffrey one-on-one. You get through that first layer of blitzes, and you're basically into the secondary at that point. And I think he ultimately is the best player on the field in this game. Pittsburgh visiting the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals are favored at home -4.5. Who do you like, Drew?
Yeah, I really like what the Bengals did against the Raiders last week. It was a good win after bouncing back against getting your head smashed in the week before. Steelers went out there and it was a shootout versus the Chargers. It was on Sunday Night Football, and they just came up short. But I really believe in. I like what the Bengals are doing, man. I really like it. Will they win by 4.5? I like that defense. 4.5.
It's a weird number.
It is a weird number, man. I'll roll with it. I'll take the 4.5, man. Say they win by 6. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know, man.
that number ain't right, bro.
I don't like the number. I don't like the number. I don't like Ben Roethlisberger at all. He doesn't evoke any confidence.
But it's the Steelers, bro. Sometimes they just do things you know what I'm saying? They
play like world beaters. I think the Steelers have some reinforcements coming back.
Yeah.
TJ Watts of the world, Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they got some reinforcements coming back. I think Alex Highsmith is playing at a high level. He's not really getting a whole lot of credit right now. If Joe Mixon can get it going, I think the Bengals I think the Bengals can win, but I think Pittsburgh keeps it close. I think either way, Pittsburgh may pull off the upset, but either way, I think Pittsburgh keeps it close. I'm gonna roll with Pittsburgh, considering the reinforcements that are coming.
Safe, playing it safe, huh?
Playing it safe. Not ready to give the Bengals the credit that they may actually deserve. They may actually deserve the credit. I really like the Bengals when they feature Joe Mixon. You know what I'm saying? They take their opportunities with Chase and Higgins, right? Joe Mixon to me is the linchpin. But if Pittsburgh can slow him down, and like I said, if they're able to control him, you're getting TJ Watt back. Now you're going to put some real pressure on those tackles in Cincinnati with Highsmith and Watt. And there may be opportunities to get to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow doesn't move. He doesn't extend plays quite the way he did prior to his injury. So there's an opportunity here for Pittsburgh's defense to get lathered up. But I think this will be a closely contested matchup, and Pittsburgh keeps it within that point spread. For the first game in the 4:00 window, we have the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Denver Broncos for an AFC West matchup. The Broncos are at home, but they're the underdog at +3.
Like I said previously, the Chargers are coming off a shootout against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have the Broncos are coming off the good old bye, and you got Justin Herbert, who's, I guess we can call him a gunslinger. I guess I don't know. He can throw the ball. The Broncos, can they run it? Can the Chargers stop the run? I don't think they can stop the run. You got one of the best backs in terms of, I don't know if they call him elusive or if he's just a yak guy. I guess he's maybe both. Yep. This game is going to be very close. I think 3 is a good number. I don't like it because it's probably come down to 3. I'll say the Broncos. With them signing their 3 wide receiver, their trio of receivers, got them locked down. And Teddy's coming off the bye. Yeah, this game's gonna be close, man. I'm very comfortable going with the Broncos +3 because they can run the football, and the Chargers, for whatever reason, can't stop the runs. Marshmallowy.
Yeah, marshmallowy soft out here. I certainly understand your logic. I'm not as comfortable as you are. I actually gonna to kind of piggyback off of a point that you made earlier in this video with respect to the matchup and the way the Denver Broncos play defense. Vic Fangio wants to man up.
Yeah,
he wants to man up. And what has been proven to give Justin Herbert and his Chargers offense the most trouble is zone defense. Is a very disciplined zone. Give him some different looks. When he can kind of drop back and kind of pick his matchups, that's when Herbert can dice you up. So I'm going to lean with the Chargers here. I think the Chargers do enough to get a win by more than 3 here. To your point, it may be close, less than a touchdown, but more than 3. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings coming off a big win when they hosted Green Bay last week. They're visiting the San Francisco 49ers, and they're actually underdogs. I think the way San Francisco has played here in recent weeks, getting George Kittle back in the lineup, Brandon Ayuk has woken up. They're actually using him. I put that on Kyle Shanahan more than anything else. There seems to be some confidence in terms of the money. There seems to be some confidence in the 49ers. Who do you like in this matchup?
Minnesota was at home. It'd be an easy choice for me. Easy. But the 49ers playing the Rams last week and made them look like a JV football team. It was embarrassing. I'm like, damn, I know it's a division rival team, but damn, like it's not even competitive. You know what I mean? And like you said, they figured out the key is to get the ball to Kittle. But Minnesota, they had a good game last week against the Green Bay Packers. I know there was some things going on there in terms of Aaron Rodgers' toe and all that stuff. And they probably win if he's healthy. But Zimmer's saying, hey, Kirk Cousins, man, let it go. Let it fly, bro. Get it down the field. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I don't know if you're doing that against the 49ers and the way they want to play defense. But I'm going to go. Man, I really don't like Jimmy G, bro. But I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to trust the scheme. I'm going to trust George Kittle, Deebo Samuels. I'm going to trust those guys. Plus, the Vikings have to go to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little jet lag. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I think the Vikings are playing so well on the offensive side of the ball. You got to give Kirk Cousins credit. I hate to do it, but it's the reality of it. It's the reality of it. He's playing well. playing well.
It'll end. It'll end soon.
And that's what I'm kind of thinking about here. Is this the week that it ends? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can't discount Dalvin Cook in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Even if Kirk Cousins isn't firing on all cylinders, right? Dalvin Cook still is a difference maker. But to your point, it's about the matchup. It's about whether or not I think the Vikings can hold up against San Francisco's physicality in the trenches. I'm not convinced of that. I think Minnesota plays a bunch of close games. You know, Minnesota could very well be at the top of that division because of just the way things have kind of shaken out. You know what I'm saying? Some of those late game heroics or faux pas, if you will. So I'm with you. I'm not a fan of Jimmy G, but I'm also going to lean on the fact that the 49ers are playing at home. They're a more physical team in my estimation. Although the Vikings deserve some credit here, and I just don't think anybody has an answer for Deebo Samuel, and especially with Brandon Ayuk also making plays. So the passing game has come alive.
Right.
Deebo has been doing his thing the entire season. Now you got Kittle back, so you got to deal with that. And of course, he's an extension of the offensive line, makes your rushing attack that much more effective. And then Brandon Ayuk, you know, he's led this team in receiving the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Finally, bro, they've been missing that one last piece, that other receiver, whoever the hell it was.
Is this the week that, you know, Kirk Cousins, he short circuits? Because, again, he's been on a heater.
Right.
I think it could be. I think it could be. At any rate, I don't see the Vikings having a answer for those three players in particular. And then, of course, we talk about that zone scheme that obviously is the penchant of Kyle Shanahan. They'll have to deal with that. And that's similar between the two teams. Obviously, they see that same type of approach. You know, it's born out of Kubiak. You know what I'm saying? Right. Shanahan is basically a disciple of that. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe that kind of evens itself out, although the Vikings have the superior back. But I'm going to lean with the home team here, and I'll take San Francisco -3, although I don't feel great about it. And to wrap up the 4 o'clock window, we have the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Green Bay Packers. So both these teams obviously coming off losses. Both teams are considered or thought to be candidates to make deep playoff runs.
Mm-hmm.
What happens here with the Packers at +1 at home? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, this essentially kind of comes down to two things. The Green Bay Packers, to me, it comes down to just basically the Green Bay Packers. The Aaron Rodgers' health and that defense, who's actually been playing well for the past, I don't know, maybe 5-6 weeks, something like that, matching up against what the Rams like to do. That the Packers play a very good zone scheme. They very disciplined. They know where to be. And, what will the Rams do versus that? I think the Rams are going to have to run the football on the Packers to get this win. Stafford, what's happening? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be his gunslinging, holding things together, and things just kind of haven't been quite what we thought it was going to be. Maybe he gets back on, back to the Stafford we know he can be, but I don't know that he'll do that versus the Packers here, just because of the way they play defense. And just Aaron Rodgers' health. Listen, if Aaron Rodgers, if he said that toe's good to go, feet, whatever it is that's going on is good to go, I don't think it's a question that they win this game because of, obviously Aaron Rodgers and the Packers defense. I know the Rams, they got their own, they got a defense as well. But I just something is the Rams offense figured out? Is it Stafford? Like what's going on that side of the football that they're just not doing the damage that we know that they can do on a consistent basis? You know what I mean? Like what's happening, bro? I think this might be a bad matchup for them, just in general.
I hear you. To answer your question, I think it's a multitude of things. I think McVay is of two minds right now, right? He's looking at the situation and he's saying, you know what, this particular matchup, it's probably best to run my offense, right? But he also wants to accommodate his quarterback. That wasn't the case with his previous quarterback, right? We're going to run my offense regardless. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do best. Doesn't matter who our opponent is. We're going to run my offense. With Stafford, he's been more apt to say, okay, you want to spread it out. You want to get in shotgun. You know what I'm saying? Whereas at times you need to get under center. You need to run that outside zone and boot off that and play action off that. And it's not that Stafford doesn't have that ability, but that's not his thing. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that has caused not friction, but somewhat short-circuited the explosiveness of this offense. Not to mention Robert Woods. When you lose a player like that, who's basically the glue to that whole thing, it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. As much as I like Van Jefferson, of course, they go out and they make the trade for Odell Beckham. Robert Woods brings a unique skill set that makes that whole thing go. So I think being kind of caught between McVay's, style versus trying to accommodate his new shiny toy in terms of his quarterback, and then losing such an indispensable piece in Robert Woods, I think all of that is kind of affecting the Rams offense. With that being said, though, I'm actually going to go with the Rams in this one. It's effectively a pick 'em. I think Green Bay, there's questions about Aaron Rodgers' health. That's where I start. This team is different when Aaron Jones isn't in the lineup, and they just lost Elgton Jenkins as well, who's a stud up front. So there's a lot, and I take what you said into full consideration. I think Green Bay's defense has been jamming. I think they've been playing really well. Quietly, they've been playing very, very well, because this offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders. Although, Rodgers had a good game last week. You know what I mean? He lit it up. But I think because of some of the personnel that the Packers have lost, I think the Rams can go in here, especially if they're willing to run that outside zone, test those edges, and force the Packers to tackle for all 4 quarters. I think the Rams can squeak out a win here, especially with how talented they are on defensively. There's no Alan Lazard. Like I said, without Aaron Jones being in that lineup, as much as we can appreciate Aaron Rodgers' greatness, I think they're just too limited offensively, assuming the Rams are where they need to be on the defensive side of the ball. They certainly have the horses to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams there. And moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the Browns visiting the Ravens. And I think at the beginning of this season, you could have circled this game, and you could say, well, maybe this is a preview to the AFC Championship or divisional round. Both these teams are looking for answers. I expect Lamar Jackson back here. The Ravens are favored at 3.5. Who do you like?
Yeah, I don't like the 3.5, but at the same time, it's like, what Baker Mayfield is going to show up to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody, Odell Beckham's out and he has a sensational game with Peoples Jones, and this is it. And then they go out there and what happened against the Lions, and I think we had picked the Lions last week anyways, to at least the points anyways. Or no, I think I picked them to win outright.
You went outright. I picked the points, but y'all went. You and Headley went outright, I think.
And they came up 3 points short.
Yeah.
I expect Lamar back. I expect the Ravens to take this and run with it and get the win. I think it's close because it's a division game, but I think maybe towards the end of the game, I think the Ravens kind of pull away.
Yeah, I think this one's going to go right down to the wire. Each team has underachieved. Let's make no mistake about it. You're right. There's more of a question mark in terms of the quarterback play in Cleveland. But I expect Chubb to get it going on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore's defense. Exactly. Yeah. The Ravens defense does not scare me. In years past, you'd be like, okay, they can kind of hang their hat on that. No, it's about Lamar. It's about Lamar in that passing game. You understand what I'm saying? And I think the Browns can affect him to a certain degree. Myles Garrett, you know what I'm saying, getting upfield, making a push. I think this one's going to be close. I'm going to take the Browns. I don't think they win. I think this comes down to a 2 or 3 point game, but I'm going to take the Browns to keep it close and cover ultimately. And then the final game on the slate, the Monday night game, we have the Seattle Seahawks going out to D.C., visiting the football team. All right, and the football team is favored at -1, effectively a pick 'em. Seattle got picked apart. I'm gonna let you get into your thing, man. But before that, I just want to make it a comment. I'm gonna make a football comment, or I don't know if it's football interpersonal. I don't know what it is. Football psychology. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with DK Metcalf, bro. Something's wrong with him.
Not like physically, or you mean
upstairs?
Okay.
Upstairs. Like the changing of the hair color notwithstanding, it is entirely too easy to get him out of his game. He's looking to fight everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For what?
Yeah.
Dude, you're a receiver. I don't care how big you are. You're a receiver, man. You're a receiver, man. Like, go out there and catch the football, make plays, man. What are you doing? He's always woofing. He's always getting into a physical altercation. Focus. Getting thrown out of games. Dude, come on, man. There's an issue. There's a huge issue in Seattle. Of course, they're not going to get Chris Carson back, who I think is a huge part of this offense. They've played better, or they had played better defensively prior to last week. They kind of slipped back into those doldrums, unfortunately. What do you think about this matchup?
I think that, first of all, I think you should take the over. It's 46.5. I think you should take the over. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to score points in this game because the football team.
The football team. There you go.
I caught myself. The football team.
Yes, you did.
They have one of the worst secondaries in the league, and I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to attack that with no Chris Carson. Not having him is huge for them, man. Like, you just see it's an eyesore for them. It's bad. And I know people, saying, hey, let Russ cook and all this stuff. And I get it. And I think he's going to cook this game. But the football team, they got that Ron Rivera mystique where they win in games they shouldn't win, staying in games, hanging into games. And now those games that they were losing earlier in the season, they're kind of coming through and winning those games.
Right.
And I think this is going to be one of those games, but I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm not saying that you got to trust Heineke or anything like that, but this team, like that division's, it's outside of the Giants. It's starting to rev up. You know what I'm saying? Dallas, they got their own things going on over there, but it's getting tight between them and Philadelphia. And it's like, okay,
sure.
If we're gonna make a move, these are the games we have to win, right?
I agree.
And right now, Seattle's just not a good football team. Call it what it is. You can call it injury. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. They're not a good football team. They got to stop. Yep. First of all, Seattle has to stop. I got some questions about the scouting department over there because they live over there in the West Coast. That's all they want to. We ain't getting into it, anyways.
Yeah. We gonna get into it. It's not this.
We gonna get into it.
Yeah,
we gonna get into it. But they got some issues that have now essentially for the past 2 or 3 years have essentially caught up to them, if you will.
Yep.
And so, but I like the will of the I like the will of the football team.
I'm
gonna stick with those guys.
Okay, I want to join you, man, but Russ has got to get a dub. He's got to get a dub. He's 0-2 since coming back from the injury. I think he came back a little too soon. I think now this week they get it going. I mentioned DK Metcalf and his issues at the top of this. It's a nationally televised game. He's probably going to go ape. He's probably going to go crazy. Lockett will probably catch another 4 or 5 balls for 100 in the touch, and Metcalf will catch 3 for 150 and 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. I get that feeling. I think this is going to be a Russ Magic type of game. We've just kind of seen, Seattle flounder here. They haven't looked good. Like you said, they're not a good football team, but I think Russ cooks. We get dangerous this particular week.
Bro, give me a score, bro. I'm interested, bro. Give me a score.
I can see give me like a 35-31.
Okay.
To your point, I think points. This game is only set at 46.5 in terms of the over/under. But I think the offenses are going to get going in this one. Assuming no inclement weather, I think the offense can get going in this one. I think just under the lights, we're going to probably see the best Russell Wilson we've seen in quite some time, and his 2 receivers there on the perimeter. I think they have big days, and then of course Heineke. He's been a gamer here recently. Terry McLaurin, you can never count him out. Seattle again has question marks on the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll be able to move the football, and they fight. Washington fights. There's no question about that. But I just feel I'm gambling here, right? I'm not necessarily going with the smart money. All things considered, I'm gambling. I think this is just a special week for Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? We get to see that superstar that we haven't seen here in quite some time. So I'm gonna roll with Seattle here. In the upset of Washington. That's going to do it for our football picks against the spread for week 12. For Drew, this is Juice. Hey, guys, make sure you visit that BetUS affiliate link in the description. Guys, it's in the description. Take advantage of that if you want to place a wager this weekend. Again, for Drew, this is Juice signing off.